Good morning, everybody. Look at all these people standing at attention. Please, relax, sit down. We're going to be here for a little bit. All right, well, as always, we begin my press briefings by reminding people about our social distancing guidelines. I'm very pleased to see many of you wearing masks in the audience. That's awesome. Again, wearing a mask when you're going to be inside closer than 6 feet, great opportunity there. Make sure you try and keep that 6 foot of distance. And you guys are kind of a little bit close over there. Maybe generally want to spread out a little bit. At least you're wearing a mask, so that's good. Keep 6 foot of distance between you and other people in public, and wash your hands often. Avoid crowded bars and restaurants. Those are all our good rules to be able to help slow the spread of virus here in Nebraska. And of course, another great way to do it is sign up for testnebraska.com to be able to get tested. We've done over 246,000 tests. And it's a great way to be able to help make sure we're monitoring the spread of the virus here in our state and taking appropriate action, like asking people to isolate or quarantine. So thank you all for following those guidelines. Now, today we actually are doing a press briefing about bragging on the Nebraska National Guard. I love these opportunities to be able to talk about the National Guard because they do such a wonderful job protecting the citizens of our state. The National Guard is just such a resource for governors such as myself to be able to help protect our people, and they do such fantastic work. I love talking about the great work that you all do. We're being joined by a number of people here today. We're going to have General Bohack, who's our Adjutant General for the Nebraska National Guard. He's going to be one of our speakers, as well as Senator Wishart, who's going to be talking about her bill, LB 450, which passed in this previous legislative session. We'll be doing a signing for that. Also, her co-sponsors, Senator Brewer, Senator Lowe, I believe Senator Hunt was also a co-sponsor, but she's not here. We want to give her credit. And then also Senator Gregert here. Senator Gregert, where are you? Senator Gregert, not one of the co-sponsors, obviously voted for the bill, though, and was a member of our Nebraska National Guard, so we want to give you a shout-out for being here. In addition, we have a number of folks that I want to recognize here, leaders from the Nebraska National Guard, and Lieutenant Colonel Dan Benesh, who's the Army National Guard Recruiting Battalion. Lieutenant Colonel. We got Senior Master Sergeant Clashad Robbins, Air National Guard. Clashad, how are you? You are the recruiting superintendent, is that right? Great, all right, well, wonderful. And then Todd Golden, who's the president of the Nebraska National Guard Association. Todd, great. And then Captain Doug Carlson, who, he's way in the back, okay, great. Just want to make sure we recognize you. And then we got folks from the university. Michelle Waits here. Thank you very much for attending as well. We appreciate the support of the university. So we got a number of people in the audience to be here to talk about it. LB 450. But before we do that, I want to get to what I was talking about before with just bragging about the Nebraska National Guard. What a cool organization they are. You know, these are men and women who volunteer to serve the people of Nebraska. About 4,500 soldiers and airmen. And really, since 2001, they've had a very different mission. They've been very busy protecting our freedoms overseas. In fact, in 2017, the General and I had the privilege of being able to pin the Air Medal of Valor on one of our flight crews for the work they had done in Afghanistan, saving the life of a Green Beret. They flew into a hot landing zone, in fact, had bullets coming through the cabin there, and were able to rescue that Green Beret and save his life. And then, of course, over the last 18 months, our Nebraska National Guard has been very involved in responding to the natural disasters and man-made disasters that we have here in our state just in general, but specifically with regard to the flooding last year. They just did yeoman's work. We're involved really from the beginning when we started bringing Americans back from China and quarantining them in Camp Ashland. The Nebraska National Guard oversaw that. And then, of course, but I want to go back, actually before that was this year. Starts blending together. But go back to the flooding. When we had the most widespread natural disaster in our state's history, the Nebraska National Guard was involved with that also from the get-go, making sure that they were dropping sandbags, 1,100 of those big vertical sandbags, 1,000 small sandbags got delivered, delivering hay to ranchers, other supplies to different communities, and of course doing rescues. The Nebraska National Guard last year rescued 112 people. 66 of those were by helicopter hoist. And 13 pets were also included as part of that. And these were conditions that were very, very difficult. In fact, talking to some of the pilots, they said the conditions flying in that flooding with the rain and the cold and the dark and the wind were more difficult than some of the combat missions they had flown. And one of our crews won a national award, the Dust-Off Award last year, for the rescue of the 7 Fremont first responders who were in the Elkhorn River in very cold, wet conditions, making it a priority to save them was just an incredible feat of aviation and, of course, dedication to the job to be able to get that done. So very pleased to be able to recognize that aircrew for their national work last year. And so just when you think maybe the National Guard would get a chance to take a break, nope, the pandemic comes along this year. And I mentioned the Camp Ashland work, but also the Nebraska National Guard has been very involved in making sure that we do the mobile testing, helping supply food banks, making sure that we're getting PPE out to our local public health departments, providing the oversight of our Nebraska Accommodation Project when we were opening up those facilities at UNO and UNL and UNK, just a number of different roles to be able to make sure that, again, they keep people safe. So I just cannot tell you how proud I am of the Nebraska National Guard. You all just do such fantastic, wonderful work. You protect our citizens. You are just an amazing resource for the people of Nebraska, and we are so proud. Okay, so can we just give yourselves a round of applause? Just everybody clap, right? All right, now I know I've gone on and on about the Nebraska National Guard, but I just am so impressed with everything they do. But I am not the only speaker here today, even though as long as I just talked, you may think, oh gosh, how long is this going to go on? The governor just keeps talking. We've got a number of other speakers. We're going to have General Bohack, Senator Wishart, Senator Lowe, and Senator Brewer talk. I'm going to first start by calling up our Adjutant General for the Nebraska National Guard, General Bohack. General?
Thank you, Governor. It's always great to have a boss that is incredibly supportive and our champion, so thank you for that, sir. So today's journey to this moment that we're arriving now for this ceremonial signing of LB 450 started, of course, in a senator's office because a constituent came forward. And that constituent happens to be now Second Lieutenant Cameron Sanix, who approached Senator Wishart about the idea of increasing the tuition assistance, level of tuition assistance for the members of the National Guard. And so I think this bill in many respects is like the epitome of the process about the citizen bringing forward an idea to a state senator who then champions that effort and brings it to fruition for the governor to sign. And so I think it's an incredible moment. So the state tuition assistance program started way back. Then Senator Dennis Rasmussen was, I think, the grandfather, if not the father of this bill back in the day, and it has survived because of strong legislative support, strong support from governors successively throughout the years. And that's only been possible not just because of the last 2 years, but the consistent dedication and performance by the men and women of the Nebraska National Guard, and what they do not only for this state, but for also our nation. And because of that performance, we enjoy, I think, a good place with the legislature and obviously with our governor, with Governor Ricketts, but that's because we endeavor each and every day to go out and earn that respect, to be in that relationship. And so we're pretty proud of this moment, Senator, very glad for it. I want to highlight something. So going to 100% tuition assistance at the university system, state colleges, and also not-for-profit brick and mortar institutions here in the state of Nebraska is a game changer. But the real game changer that separates us, that takes Nebraska and is completely in line with the priorities of the governor to make Nebraska the most military-friendly, veteran-friendly state in the nation, is the feature of adding 50% tuition assistance for graduate level work. There is no other state in our region that does that. And so you have elevated us to a place that we can all be very proud of, and so I'm very grateful. So Senator Wishart, Senator Lowe, Senator Brewer, and Senator Hunt, who's not here, and also Senator Gregert, who's also a pretty good champion given that he retired from the Nebraska Army National Guard. as Senator Brewer as well, served in the Nebraska National Guard. So it's great to have that kind of advocacy on the floor. And with that, I'm going to be glad to introduce Senator Anna Wishart, who is the primary introducer of LB 450. Senator.
Well, thank you so much, General, and thank you, all of you who are here today and everybody who's listening with the National Guard for your continued service. As the governor has said, you've had a very intense and busy couple of years in this state, and we wouldn't be where we are today without you, and the citizens of Nebraska fully support your efforts, and thank you. As the General said, I was approached by a constituent and some of her classmates about this bill 2 years ago, and right away, it was an absolute yes. This hits on two of the issues I care really deeply about in our state. One is supporting those who are committed to our community and public service and supporting our National Guard members. But two is having Nebraska be a state where we're really competitive in terms of attracting and retaining talent here. And so when she approached me with this issue, I said, oh, absolutely, I'll introduce it. And this is kind of a testament to working hard and not giving up on a bill. You know, we've had some pretty tough budget cycles, so it took us over 2 years to finally get this through. And again, I can't thank the General enough and all of my colleagues who supported this issue. This does make Nebraska one of the best states in terms of National Guard tuition assistance in the country, if not the best state for it. And that's a big deal for us. I like it when Nebraska does something first and the best, and so today is a really good day to celebrate. I would be remiss if I didn't update you all on where Cameron is right now. She is at Basic Officer Leadership course out of state, and she is doing the officer's initial entry training for Air Force and Missile Defense, which is pretty amazing. Anyway, thank you all, and I can't wait for this to go into effect and for us to shine as a state that supports our National Guard. Thank you.
All right, so was it, which, Senator Brewer, will you come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Anna, for championing the bill. I can't tell you how challenging it can be sometimes to write a bill so that we'll make it through, to get it through the committee, get it to the floor, get through 3 times of trying to convince the others on that floor to agree with you. Kind of mixed emotions today, seeing all the uniforms. You know, you spent 38 years of your life surrounded by the people in uniform. To walk away from that leaves you kind of empty because you spend your whole life in that uniform and your service to your country is what you live for. And then that's gone. But I will tell you that I have been blessed in the sense that I had someone who mentored me as a young captain. As a matter of fact, it was Dan Benish's dad. So when we say Guards family, it wasn't that much longer that this young captain came to me when I was commanding counter-drug and applied for a job, and hands down he was the best choice. Nothing to do with your dad and his mentoring of me, but now to have my daughter getting mentored by officers like Dan, it's kind of really special that you're part of an organization that generation after generation will have the same family members work through it. And I was, I don't know, blessed or not, I guess, to have my wife, all my children in the Guard, my nephews, even though you guys probably know Steve, he's really not as bad as you think he is. The whole idea of being able to help that family, and this bill does that, is refreshing, it's rewarding. And Tom, I will tell you that I think there's other things we can do. We just need you guys to put your minds to work on how we can help you guys do your job in a way with less challenges and less stress, because that's kind of our job here, is to help you be more successful. You guys are going to have some challenging times ahead. You know, our nation's in kind of a position where your your services are going to be needed. And so we are blessed to have all of you here, and I am grateful for the time I had in the Guard, and good luck.
Senator Lowe, would you come up and say a few words, please?
Thank you, Governor. Well, you know, when things get tough, when all else seems to fail, when we need help, we turn to the National Guard. Thank you for always being there for us. It's been a tough couple of years around Nebraska, but we are doing well because of the National Guard and because of the support that you have shown for Nebraska. We want the best and the brightest in our military, in the Guard, and I believe this is one more tool where we can keep those men and women here in Nebraska learning and becoming brighter even more. Thank you very much.
All right, well, again, I am very excited to be here for this ceremonial signing of LB 450 that will take the tuition for in-state reimbursement up from 75% to 100%, and as the senator pointed out, make us really one of the best states by providing a 50% tuition reimbursement for that in-state graduate or professional degree. So very exciting. It also does a lot of other really good things with regard to allowing our National Guard more flexibility with regard to programs. It doesn't have to just be a degree program. It can be broader than that. It can be additional on top of previous degrees they got. So you really did a lot of nice work in this bill, Senator. So thank you very much. So having said all that, what I would like to do is give the first copy to you, Senator Wishart. So if you could come up here and please accept this. Thank you so much for working on this bill. Don't worry, at least it'll make you look good out there. All right. In general, if you could come up and accept another signed copy of this, please. Great. Thank you, John. And then, Senator Brewer, could you come up? Accept one, please. Great, thank you. And Senator Lowe. Thanks. Senator Gregert. All right, great, thank you. All right, and now, let's see, my next list is going to go over here. So Dan, will you please accept this? Thanks you. Thanks for your work. Rashad, you're next. All right, and Tom? Thank you very much. And Doug, I'm going to call you up here and give you one as well. Doug, if you could come up, I'm going to hand one to you just because Doug Carlson has just done a fantastic job. He's actually worked on a number of different projects, but really appreciate all your work as well, Doug. The National Guard, working for all the different efforts you've got here within the Department of Health and Human Services and Department of Administrative Services and everything you're doing to keep things rolling to respond to this pandemic. All right, good. Thank you very much. All right, so now we will go ahead and, well, first of all, before we get into the next part, just want to remind everybody we do have our next press conference will be Monday here at 10 a.m. And with that, we'll do questions and answers. Does any members of the media have any questions on this topic? We'll start with this topic first. Yes, Andrew.
I guess I didn't see what the A bill was on this, but why do you think this has a good investment in the rollover effect of what impact this could have financially for the state?
Yeah, so the question was, with regard to this, why is this a good investment in our state? And I think the answer is very simple, because we're investing in the people who are protecting us. Our National Guard men and women do such a fantastic job of protecting us. We've really seen that over the last 18 months. And we want to encourage people to develop themselves further so they can continue to serve the people of Nebraska. And I think this also helps attract people into the National Guard so that we continue to have the same type of people step up and protect our fellow citizens. So I think this is an important investment for our state to be able to not only invest in the people that we currently have in the Guard, but attract new people.
Okay, and do you guys have any numbers as to how many soldiers have taken advantage of this, or how many could take advantage of this with the graduate study?
So General, the question was, how many of our soldiers and airmen have taken advantage of the tuition reimbursement? And do we have any numbers on what the future might hold?
So in terms of over the years, the average number of students is around 200 to 300 across the various institutions in the state. So we have that. What we haven't had before, obviously, is the graduate level tuition assistance. And our best estimate of that is based on, there's a federal tuition assistance program that the Army has access to, all the Army National Guard. And we use that as an estimate. So we're really not sure yet, Andrew. It may be 100, could be fewer, but the fiscal projection was around $350,000 increase annually for this, and we will see where we go with that.
And while I have you up there, I mean, how have you seen this improve the Guard, having your members, I guess, go through, and get other degrees?
Sure. So the question is, how has this improved the Guard and having members get other degrees? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, in order to be commissioned as an officer, you must have a bachelor's degree to be commissioned in either the Army or the Air Force. So that's definitely a contributor. It helps people develop personally. But also for our enlisted force, our demographics are such that we're a fairly highly educated force when we compare ourselves to the general demographics, if you will, of the state. So I think, as Senator Lowe pointed out, by investing in the Guard in this way, we're going to elevate the overall level of competency and skills that we bring to bear whenever we're called upon.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Any other questions on that topic? Do you have questions, Andrew, on other topics?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
There seems to be more push to get you to extend SNAP benefits. They're saying that you can't necessarily just use the unemployment numbers that we have here, and also that we're not back to normal, because there's still a lot of people left behind. I guess, have you changed your mind at all, or what would change your mind on extending the SNAP benefits?
So with regard to the SNAP benefits, just for everybody's edification, so there was an emergency allotment of SNAP benefits that the state provided through the end of July that allowed people to get the maximum amount of benefits. And typically, about 40% of SNAP recipients are getting that maximum amount because it's based on income. So lower income, you get higher benefits. Here in Nebraska, we are the least economically impacted state in the union, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. We've got the lowest unemployment rate in the state, or in the country rather. According to the Department of Labor, we're at 4% unemployment, which is really, if you talk to economists, pretty much normal unemployment, which you would expect in a normal economy. And what we've seen in the numbers of SNAP applications is we are back to normal from where we were pre-pandemic. So if you look at February, for example, we had about 70,000 folks who were applicant or enrollees into the SNAP program. We hit a high of 78,000. Now we're back down to about 71,000. September of 2019, we were about 71,000. So the numbers actually show that we are back to more normal. And one of the things that we want to do is make sure also that these benefits aren't just all ending at once, because that's what they call a cliff effect. What we want to do is step this down over time, and certainly being the least impacted state with a normal unemployment rate, it's an opportunity for us to start doing that. So while we didn't continue the maximum benefit for the SNAP, we did that for other parts of the SNAP program, and then also for the emergency or the pandemic unemployment, which we also offered through August and September. So really trying to step that down over time as the state gets back to work. So Again, we're continuing to provide that support through our SNAP program. We're going back to normal as Nebraska gets back to a more normal routine.
And I guess the other argument is that, you know, we're leaving $12 million that could flow to our economy that would not only help those families, but would also help grocery stores and help other people, because that money would be spent locally.
So the question was, there's additional, there's dollars that are left on the table potentially because we could be providing that. But again, I think what we want to do is look at the bigger picture of making sure that we're stepping down benefits over time, not cutting them off all at once as we return back to more normal. And so that's what we want to do. And of course, with the trillions of dollars that have been provided in aid, there's other venues out there. And ultimately, we got to remember that all this money has to come from somewhere, right? If we're borrowing it from countries like China or printing it, it's going to have a long-term impact. And here in Nebraska, being the least impacted state, I think we can have a way to show the rest of the country on how we get back to more normal life. Any other questions? All right, with that, then Taylor, are we going to take a big group picture?
Yeah.
Can we do that? So maybe you and Ryan can move our podium here.